This is my 1969 Shelby GT350. It's a Hertz rent-a-car. It was one of two cars that was delivered to J.D. Ball Ford in Miami for use at the Miami International Airport. If you belong to the sports car club in the Hertz Rent-A-Car Corporation, this was one of the many cars that they had available for rent back in 1969. The GT350s came with the 351 Windsor. This is it's got a few wrong parts on it, but because I do drive it, I wanted better air conditioning and the aluminum radiator for better cooling for the driving. But otherwise, I've tried to keep the engine as stock looking as possible. I saw the car first in 1974, sitting on a gentleman's carport. It was all tore apart. It was a mess. I only approached him once a year at Christmas time. I was down the street at a friend's house for a Christmas party. And in 1980, he actually, I didn't contact him that year. He actually contacted me and told me that he wanted to sell the car to me. I had been working on other Mustangs and he had seen them, and he said, you know, I'm not going to do the car like I said I was going to. I want to sell the car to you and have you fix it up like you've done your other Mustangs. Well, the interior, this is all original. The 69 Shelbys came with the gauges on the center console so that they could have the full instrumentation on the dash. Otherwise, it's the same as a Mach 1, except that they added the roll bar. And then from the roll bar, they added the shoulder harnesses, racing style shoulder harnesses. But otherwise, it's the same thing as a Mach 1. The side scoops, the front scoops are all actually, they consider them to be functional scoops, because the air does go in and it goes out in the wheel well. So it's not just a piece that's been added onto the car and it's non-functional. It actually does take and move the air into the rear wheel well, which helps cool down the tire and the brakes. The Shelbys, they added the fiberglass trunk lid, the fiberglass, this is like a Thunderbird tail light that was put into a custom panel. It does sequence when it turns. They took the regular exhaust outlets and moved them into the center aluminum pod, so the exhaust actually does come out in the center of the car. They had to relocate the license plate up to where the gas cap is on normal Mustangs.
Nice. Very good.
I do drive it. This is not a trailer queen. I don't drive it long distances, but I'll trailer it to an event. Like I went up to Tennessee and did the Tail of the Dragon with it. I trailered it to Tennessee, but once I was in Tennessee, it comes off the trailer and I drive it the whole time I'm up there. It doesn't go back into the trailer until I'm ready to come back home. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a copy of the original window sticker. And what this shows is that the car was originally sold for $5,277. But this car was never actually sold for that price because it was delivered to J.D. Ball Ford in Miami, Florida, for Hertz, which means that this was a Hertz rent-a-car at the Miami International Airport. And the Marti report that breaks down the information on the car also shows that it was a Hertz rental car. In 1969, when these cars were sent out for rentals, there were only 150 of the 69 Shelbys that were the Hertz rental cars. This is one of two cars that was delivered to Miami International Airport. And
how many miles did it have when you got it?
The records, the service records from Ford, the last service records showed it had about 8,000 miles on it.
8,000 miles.
8,000 miles. They only kept them for about 1 year. So depending on how often they got used, how far they went, this one here, when it was returned back to J.D. Ball Ford, it only had the last service records from it going in showed it only having just over 8,000 miles.
Very nice.
And it hasn't had much more put onto it.
How many miles he has now?
Honestly, I do not know. The odometer is totally wrong. I bought it, I drove it for 2 years, and then I tore it all apart to do a total complete restoration.
Okay. Nice.
And it was only finished February this year.
Okay, hello, my name's Rick, and this is my 1979 Little Red Express. It was made by Dodge. They only built them for 2 years. One was in 1978, the other was in 79 and 78. They only made 2,200 units. And in 1979, they made 5,200 units. That was the only 2 years they made them. Everything you see on the vehicle right now is pretty much the way it came from the factory. The dual stack exhaust pipes came like that from the factory. Straight out exhaust right through the pipes. There's no catalytic converter. On the interior, everything is pretty much stock. The wood dashboard there, it's got an 8-track AM/FM tape player in there, if anybody remembers 8-track tapes. And the color red was a certain color that they only came from the factory those 2 years. You know, the graphic arts, that was part of the deal. The wood on the back of the bed there, the step side, you got it on the sides. You got it also inside the bed. And then on the tailgate itself, all that's real wood.
From factory?
From the factory. It all came like that from the factory. You got to keep it oiled to keep it nice and natural. It was a step side, they call it. That was the style that you see there. Inside the engine bay, or if you're in the dash there, it's everything's stock there. Nothing's been touched. I believe the seats have been reupholstered only. In the engine bay itself, it's a 360 small block V8 engine. It has had some engine work done. It's got the dual headers on it. The mechanic told me that it has a special camshaft in it to give it more horsepower. It came with a dual induction into the air cleaner. And I've been told it's making about 240 horsepower, 290 feet-pound of torque. But yeah, this is my baby. This is my dream that I wanted since I was in high school. I finally was able to get it.
Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for being on the channel.
Thank you. Thank you
so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is my 1940 Ford Coupe. I've had it about 1.5 years. Bought it from a gentleman in Broward County. It's got a Chevy engine in it, 250. A lot of the work was done on it when we got it, but we're customizing it a little more, making it our own. We've changed some things up on it in the process of putting air conditioning in it and making it a long distance cruising car. The interior's pretty much the way it was when we got it. It was a Chevy 2. I'm sorry. It's not a Chevy 2, it's a Mustang 2.
Okay.
Interior seats, a banjo wheel, Krager wheels.
Very nice.
Real old school hot rod.
Very, very nice. Well, ma'am, you have a beautiful car.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being on the video.
Yeah, totally the cheapest stuff. The easiest.
Well, family, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like always, let me know with a like. Leave your comments down below. And if it is your first time passing by the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and turn on post notifications. That way you don't miss any of my videos. I would like to thank every single one of you guys that took part of this event. Every single one of you that participated in this video. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because without you, I would not be able to post this type of vlogs. With that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys on my next episode. Adios.